Yago Dora, happy to be back in Saquarema, looking to defend his title. His good friend, Jack Robinson, going through the motions. And also world number 3, preparing here in Rio de Janeiro for stop number 8, a big event on the World Surf League Championship Tour.
Winning our title is incredible. It's like accomplish the impossible, you know.
Everyone's here to win.
We just really want to smoke everybody.
I know I can win a world title.
I want to come into that finals leading it, have the best chance possible.
I love surfing so much, and I want to be the best at it.
The World Surf League arrives in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil for stop number 8 on the 2024 Championship Tour.
50,000 fans strong.
Saquarema comes alive with passion and rhythm as the Coliseum of energy, unmatched in professional surfing, hosts the Vivo Rio Pro presented by Corona. With a win in El Salvador, John Florence secured his spot to compete for the world title at lower trestles. 4 spots remain, and the pressure is mounting as Gabriel Medina, Italo Ferreira, and Yago Dora soar up the rankings. In the women's draw, Caroline Marks took her second straight victory at Punta Roca. Will her win ignite a world title defense, or will the contenders answer back at Itaúna?
You want a show? We brought you a show, Saquarema. Big Mike Tyson. Here he is. From the clouds. Comes out of nowhere.
Only 2 events remain in the race for the Lexus WSL Finals. The fight for the Final 5 heats up at the Vivo Rio Pro presented by Corona. Bom dia and welcome to another huge event on the World Surf League Championship Tour, the Vivo Rio Pro presented by Corona. Coming up on Dawn Patrol, we're talking about who's in and who's out. Little surprise there. The local boy at Saquarema's back in the draw to take on world number 1. John Florence has clinched a spot in September. 4 spots left to fill out for the Lexus WSL Finals. Who will be there and who's going to need that yellow jersey the most on the women's side as Katie Simmers is back to world number 1, looking to defend her title here in Rio de Janeiro. A beautiful spot called Saquarema. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being with us. It's a glorious day on the opening day of the waiting period, and I've got some good friends with me here on the show. Joe Turpel, Maida Paps, and also Jesse Mendez from former competitor standpoint to join us for the color call. Maida, you've been on the team with the Portuguese broadcast all year. We find our way already at stop number 8. Just 2 regular season events left in the year. Where has the time gone?
Yeah, it's true, Joe. Oh, it's so glad to be back in Saquarema, this beautiful landscape, this crazy crowd, and also the good waves. So we are very excited to see the surfing show.
Jesse, obviously you're from Brazil. Welcome home, by the way. It must feel great to be able to, 1, speak Portuguese, eat all your favorite food, and surf with your good friends.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, it's great to be back here. The banks are fun. The waves have been fun the last few days. It's on the small side, but it's been clean and feels like summer, so everyone's having a good time. It's
been small, but it has been rippable. What's your take on the quality of the banks that we have?
The banks are great. We have a lot of sand stacked up to the right side of the scaffolding, which it helps with the small swell and bigger waves, so we're going to have some great waves.
A lot of great energy here at the beach. It is opening day, so now let's go to the My Terra official call as we say bon dia to Rachel.
Bon dia, Joe. Good morning, Jesse. I'm here with her. And how does it feel to be back in Brazil for this event?
Oh, it's great. We love it. I mean, we had the opening last night and we had the drone show, which was cool. So everyone loves coming here and, you know, there's always such a good energy and there's so many people who are so welcoming. So it feels like a massive event for us always. So it's great.
And that opening party yesterday made us feel like it's already started. But now we need to know, what is the call for today?
So today we're not on. We have really small waves today. It's really nice and clean, but, you know, not a lot of swell. tomorrow looks like tomorrow could be good. So we have a new swell coming in the night tonight, and it's really going to pick up. If it's here tomorrow, it's going to be there in the morning. So, we're looking at a potential start for tomorrow, and some really nice fun waves, probably about 4 feet and nice and clean. So it could be a good one for us.
What about the forecast for the week? What should we expect?
So we know that we have waves tomorrow, and then we're also looking at waves coming, in the back half of the week. There's definitely a swell coming, but there's a lot of wind and a little bit of weather. So the great news is that we're definitely going to have, more waves, but we're going to have to pick those windows and see what we get. So, we're stoked. Everyone's telling us as well, and, we know that out here the sandbank's really good right now. It's like, epically fun. So it's going to be good no matter what.
Let's see what we get. Thank you so much, Jessie. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, our Commissioner, Jessie Miley-Dyer. That was the MyTerra Morning Call. Start your day with granola as you see this beautiful beach of Itaúna. And to go further on the forecast, we bring up our maps from our friends at Surfline to break it all down. Opening day, looking small, it's off. But what can we expect, Jessie?
Yeah, I think Jesse broke it down perfectly for us, but tomorrow we have a small south swell, which is a great direction for here. Not ideal, but still fun. We're going to have clean conditions. And then we should expect some fun waves throughout the midweek of this following week. And yeah, it's going to be pretty fun because we have some clean days with offshore winds and some decent size, probably about 4 to 5 foot faces. And it's going to be exciting. This region always picks up a lot of swell, which we love. So today's small, as you can see, 1 to 2 feet. But it will be picking up throughout the week, Maida.
Yeah. On Saturday, 3 for 4 faces. During the morning and afternoon, 2 to 3 plus feet. And then on Sunday, it drops a little bit, 1 to 3 faces, offshore winds, and then onshore winds during the afternoon. So yeah, but we have a good conditions.
Yeah, it's really cool when you show up at Sakurama. I've been here in the past where everyone's looking for step-ups because it could get really big. You got to keep your eyes on that forecast because it is subject to change. So far, it's looking clean. It's been really warm, sunny beach days where you don't want to leave the beach. So we're going to be expecting 40,000 plus fans to watch the world's best as we take a look at some new names and some familiar faces that'll be entering the draw for this event. As we talk about who's in and who's out, João Chianca, local boy representing Sakurama, coming off a huge wildcard performance in El Salvador. And Jesse Samuka is back. Sammy Pupo's in the draw again.
I'm so excited to see him. I feel like his surfing hasn't translated to the results he had half through the season, but then he started Challenger Series with the right foot, had some great results, building some confidence, and he's no stranger to beating those big names, so he's going to be a dangerous one for the guys here.
Olympians Luana Silva, Taina Hinkle in the draw as well at the main event. And unfortunately, Tyler Wright having to withdraw. Remember, she's a 3-time Rio champ, a 2-time world champ, world number 9, unable to make it here. But that brings up a first for Sofia Medina, Maida.
Yeah, it's going to be nice to see Sofia Medina surfing her first championship tour event by side with her brother, Gabriel Medina. They are all favorite for the crowd here, so it's gonna be fun to watch her, and she's ripping. She's surfing pretty well right now.
Exciting times. Check out your fantasy surf teams on worldsurfleague.com. Make the appropriate adjustments as we're anticipating fireworks when we're focusing on the final 5. John Florence, the only one to clinch a spot so far into September, and just 4 spots remain. More on that when we come back.
If I were to win another world title at this stage of my career, it will definitely be different.
John behind him, giant alley-oop and puts it down. Continues on.
I have a little bit of unfinished business.
A huge win for John Florence in El Salvador. He hadn't won since the end of 2020 at Pipeline over Medina. It was a long time coming. Did it with a 10. Did it over Iago Dora in the final as he is world number 1, getting a spot into his first ever appearance in the Lexus WSL Finals this September. And look at that gorgeous morning that we have on hand. Once again, we're off for the day. Next call will be first thing in the morning to see if we'll get things underway. This is Joe, Maida, Jesse. We just saw there John in yellow. We've got to wait to see what his seating will be, but we still have 4 spots still to decide who will be competing for a world title. We've got Jack Robinson, number 2 in the world. Griffin's now number 3 coming into stop 8. Ethan Ewing, 4th, and Jordy Smith in 5th. When you look at their average place when it comes to Rio, it's kind of a little bit lower than maybe what you'd expect, Maida.
Yeah, it's true, but I mean, Jordy has won already here, also John Florence. Ethan Ewing made finals last year. So, yeah, they can do pretty well here, so they might have to work a lot to stay in these 5 spots in the rankings.
I think one of the biggest takeaways that you have when you look at the Final 5 is that no Brazilian names maybe yet in that Final 5 picture, Jesse, but they are on the move.
And this is not expectable. Like, you usually see those names up in the top 10 or even higher than that, mostly for Gabriel and Italo in the last few years. So it was just a matter of time. And here, Italo having a huge win against one of the best ever out at Teahupo, which was John Florence. And it's just impressive. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, impressed to see what Iago did, just really changing above the lip surfing. Indy full rotations, but also on demand. So much consistency there as we look at the Brazilian charge, just focusing on the last 2 events. 3-time world champ Medina from 19th all the way to 6th. Italo, when he won in Tahiti, actually went all the way to 5th. Now down to 7th, heading into Brazil. And Iago Dora got the last spot to survive the midseason cut. Now he's into the top 10 and looking to defend his event title here at Saquarema, who he's had a ton of consistency. When you look at the Brazilians that are charging, who are you expecting, Maida, to really take it and go all the way this week in Saquarema?
Yeah, I'm expecting Medina. So he hasn't had good results here during the championship tour yet, but he has already won. I was here in the Challenger Series in 2022. So he knows how to surf this wave, and he is like surfing pretty well, willing to win. So I'm really excited to watch him.
Like that choice. Maybe he gets too much attention at this part. He's a superstar. Maybe this is his year. He could win at home. Jesse Mendez, who are you thinking?
I usually pick Iago, which I don't know why, but I might be biased because I like his surfing so much. But here especially, he's spent a lot of time here before. He knows the rhythm of this wave, the backwashes, which usually tends to be a tricky thing for all the surfers. And he's won here last year, so he's going to be one to watch. He's going to be very dangerous out here once again.
And when you know what Iago's made of, you think of a free surfer, this calm spirit, but an absolute warrior when he comes to compete at home. There's sometimes surfers that elevate when they've got the crowd behind them. Iago's certainly that.
For sure.
He's got the wild card semifinal in the past, competed full time. So 3 semifinals, a win last year for a lot of great consistency for Dora. Coming off a final in El Salvador. And now all focus on him if he could go back-to-back this year and get a spot in the Final 5. Up next, we'll talk about the women. Who needs that #1 seed the most? Be right back. João de Fé is the champion of the male Rip Curl Pro Portugal. Molly putting her head down, grabs a rail of pipeline, pulls up and under. She's still going and gets the exit.
What a turn. Molly, big look. Brisa Hennessy, Brisa, right back out there, right back in action. She's gonna pull the trigger. Here we go with Brisa Hennessy. Caroline Marks already won a world title at just 21 years old. Caroline Marks gets the win. She is our back-to-back champion here in El Salvador. Katie Simmers has so much courage in her surfing.
Katie Simmers is your champion of the Lexus Pipe Rope. She turns the final and steals the belt. Five heading into Brazil. Katie Simmers back in yellow, world number 1. Caroline with a win in El Salvador, up to number 2. Brisa Hennessy, number 3 in the world. Picklum 4th, and João de Fé sitting at number 5. It's wide open. We haven't clinched any spots yet for the women heading to September. Let's talk about that further as we welcome and say a big bon dia to Mitchell Salazar. Thanks for joining us, Mitch.
Bon dia, guys. Appreciate it. Hopefully you get some waves later in the period, but I mean, bars look fun, as Jesse was saying, Joe. Really like it here.
It looks really fun. I saw you out there throwing some water as well. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Big warm welcome to Rio. Let's get right to it. Let's get you on the hot seat. We just saw that clip of the final 5. We always talk about seeding and the importance of that yellow jersey, but more specifically in September. Who's going to need that number 1 seed more than anyone else in that current top 5 look?
Unpopular opinion, I think it's Caitlin Simmers. She's the only teenager in the top 5. She's talked about pressure before, and you have Caroline Marks looming in the background too. You need to make sure that you're at least getting 2 chances to be world champion. I feel like having that progression in her back pocket too, just like Felipe did against Ethan last year, it's a big benefit for her having that in her arsenal. And obviously one thing too is that she's a local surfer. So if she gets the number 1 seed, no pressure at home competing, Joe.
Once again, if you're the number 1 seed, you wait, and it's best of 3 series on who's going to meet you there when it comes to a world title race. I feel like Mitch is sensing a little Caroline Marks run from deep once again.
Yeah, I truly feel that. I think it's going to be one of those things where Caroline, 1 through 5, she's still the person to beat.
Maida, what about you? You thinking it's going to be Katie needing the number 1 seed the most, or you can't disagree here?
Yeah, I can't disagree. I think Molly, it would be great for her to have, because last year she got there in 4th position and she lost her first heat. So due to this pressure, I think it would be great for her to get the highest spot.
It's a real thing. The pressure is so different and not comparable to any other event on the calendar. It's a world title moment. Molly did get a rep there last year, but looking for more this season. Coming up next, we'll talk about the heats to watch and enjoy the national anthem.
todos os anos a gente tenta trazer novidades.
WSL é coisa de maluco, cara. Vocês são sensacionais.
Last night, the festivities got started at the Vivo Rio Pro, presented by Corona. The drone show lit up the sky. Papatino turned up the heat on the beach for what should be an epic event this week. Now, let's prepare for the Brazilian national anthem. Muito obrigado. That was absolutely beautiful. Now we're officially on, obviously off for the day, but on for the waiting period for this event. Maida, what are you looking forward to the most this week?
Oh my God, I'm so excited to the show in the water, but also everything is happening on the sand, because we have like many things. Tomorrow we have like Esquadrilha da Fumaça, so many good, nice things happening in the water.
So much to talk about, Mitch. I mean, the one big factor, the crowd, and how that's going to play into the performances this week as well.
Especially for the local surfers, that's what I'm looking forward to. I think Italo has a lot to prove. I think Gabe has a lot to prove. Can't forget about Yago's epic performance over there at Punta Roca, too.
I'm kind of expecting a kind of a connectivity from Yago's aerial performance if it is smaller.
No doubt.
I think we might continue with that theme this week here at Saquarema. Once again, we're off for the day. Join us tomorrow morning, early 7:15 for the call. Potential 7:30 start for the Vivo Rio Pro presented by Corona. Enjoy WorldSurfLeague.com. We'll see you bright and early.